sat in despair and thought, this just isn't fair. Here I am, after 12 long years of building towards success, at the bottom again. I'm more broke today than when I was Gorgeous George on the beach. 12 years of blood and guts, and I was more of a failure than ever. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't see the logic, the justice, the reasons for any of it. Was life just inherently unfair? Was that it? Was there simply no rhyme or reason for anything? Was there no point in even trying? That was when I began to examine more carefully what had happened in my life. I'd been a college dropout, a beach bum, and a complete financial failure. Also, I'd been a straight-A student, a top corporate salesperson, a super-achieving entrepreneur in a cutting-edge industry, and a complete financial success. And all of those had been the same person. So what was the difference? It made no sense. Or did it? For the first time, I began to see that over the years of my roller coaster career, I had gone through a rich sequence of experiences that held the secrets to success as well as to failure. I had proven to myself, beyond any shadow of a doubt, the depths of failure that simple daily errors in judgment could produce. I had also seen what simple daily disciplines could accomplish. I just hadn't quite realized what I knew. It was time to pull away the veil of circumstance and look right at the heart of the matter, to go behind the results and examine the actions, and behind the actions to find the attitudes, and behind the attitudes to discover the thinking that held them there. That was when I began to discover and explore the slight edge. Since that time, I have built some extraordinary businesses and earned more money than I ever dreamed of. I've experienced more joy and fulfillment within my family and other relationships than I knew was possible. I've also discovered new vistas in my own investment, in my own development, in terms of both health and learning. Perhaps most important than all of that is that I've built a philosophy that is grounded in reality, in the way things actually work, not on luck and the mystery of the quantum leap, but on the power of the water hyacinth. I could lose it all tomorrow. It's happened before. I'd survive. But there is something I cannot lose. And with that one thing, I could start from scratch with a penny and build it all back up again. That one thing is the slight edge. Where to go from here? Someday when I have the time, I'm going to. Someday when I have the money, I'm going to. Have you ever heard that said? Someday? It's a way we have of reinforcing the illusion that the future is safely far removed, that it doesn't really touch us. It's a lie. Not an intentional, willful deception, but a lie nonetheless. Someday is not a vision of my future. Someday is a fantasy, nothing more. Here's the damage we do with this illusion. We give weight to our someday fantasies. We squeeze some sense of enjoyment from them as if they were real, and thereby give ourselves permission to take no practical action whatsoever while we swim in the comforting sense that those someday scenarios will move closer to the unfolding present on their own. They won't. You've got to go claim them. Ask yourself, what is there in my life that I hold as someday? Do one simple daily discipline in each of these 5 key areas of your life. Your health, your personal development, your relationships, which includes family, your finances, and your life overall, which includes the meaning and purpose of your life, that forwards your success in each of those areas. Make a habit of doing some sort of daily review of these slight edge activities, either through keeping a journal, a list, working with a slight edge buddy, a coach, or some other regular, consistent means. Spend high-quality time with men and women who have achieved goals and dreams similar to yours. In other words, model successful mentors, teachers, gurus, masters, and allies, and do it daily, weekly, and monthly. And you'll find yourself on the success curve, and you will turn your dreams into realities. Successful people put the slight edge to work for them, rather than against them, every day. They refuse to let themselves be swayed by their feelings, moods, or attitudes. They rule their lives by their philosophies, and do what it takes to get the job done, whether they feel like it or not. Successful people don't look for shortcuts, nor do they hope for the big breakthrough. They are always open to quantum leaps, knowing that such opportune moments do present themselves from time to time, but they focus on doing what they've put in front of themselves to do. They step onto the path of mastery, and once having set foot there, they stay on that path throughout their lives. Successful people never blame circumstances or other people. Instead, they take full responsibility for their lives. They use the past as a lesson, but do not dwell in it, and instead let themselves be pulled up and forward by the compelling force of the future. Successful people use inertia to build momentum, making their upward journey of success easier and easier. They know how to identify habits that don't serve them and replace them with those that do. They understand the powers of reflection, completion, and celebration, and they harness them constantly, using their radar for unfinished business to propel them forward rather than being sucked backward and downward. Successful people acquire the three kinds of knowledge they need to succeed. They create an ongoing support system of both book smarts and street smarts, learn through study and through doing, and they catalyze and accelerate that knowledge by finding mentors and modeling their successful behavior. They plan, they do, and then they review, again and again and again. Successful people go to work on their philosophy first, because they know it is the source of their attitudes, actions, results, and the quality of their lives. They understand activity, and because they do the thing, they have the power. They understand the power of daily disciplines. They understand the power of the water hyacinth and how to use it. They know when they are being offered the choice of wisdom. Successful people understand the slight edge, and they put it to work for them. So, where do you go from here? Find your penny, then start doubling it. About the author. Jeff Olson describes himself as a perpetual student of personal development, and he is as devoted to health and fitness as he is to personal and financial success. Dividing his time between his homes in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Jeff has spoken to more than 1,000 audiences throughout the United States and around the world. Over the past 20 years, he has helped hundreds of thousands of individuals achieve better levels of financial freedom and personal excellence.
I'm going to talk about basically accountability and how that works. But what a boring, horrible subject. Why I want to talk about that in long term and the benefit of that, but you can apply that for 4 weeks or 5 weeks. If you can't be set up an accountability system for 4 or 5 weeks, then you certainly won't set it up for the rest of your life, okay? And here's our observations, all right? You're either growing in the business right now, or you're not growing, or you will grow. You know, like you're kind of in one of those categories. Are you always in one category or the other? No, you're not. Here's my observations. We have observed that the people that are growing listen to CDs and move CDs through their organisation. When you're growing, that's what you're doing. You listen to CDs, and to develop a CD listening habit, well, that'd be a great title for a CD, is a really, really important thing. In fact, when you leave here, unless you've developed a CD listening habit, you will not survive, okay? The CD listening habit is critical, but when you listen to CDs, eating CDs, you duplicate that, and absolute observation, the teams are moving. Now, we don't have to understand this, we don't have to even believe this, I'm just telling you what happens. The organisations that move the most CDs grow the fastest. Work ethic, the leaders that work the hardest show the most plans, develop a team of plan showers, and the work ethic is predictable. That's when people are growing. Functions, the people that are growing attend everything, and they set up a system, they set up accountability in their team, they set up a culture in their team of people attending everything, okay? Now, you don't have to do it the way we did. I mean, Deidre and I, certainly for a business preview, I don't think I ever missed a business preview from zero to Crown Ambassador, because that's what we were doing. That's what and we set up a massive business preview culture. If we don't go to the business preview now, it's okay, because we've got tens of thousands of people in 30 countries who go to business previews every week, okay? But for a while, you've got to do it to set up a team, all right? So the people that do that. The other thing that we've observed is the people that are the most accountable, they grow the fastest too. So the ones that are growing the fastest are listening to CDs, working, and being accountable. I don't know anybody, seriously, nobody, that has been able to grow fast without doing those things. Now, there might be a couple of other things, but I couldn't think of them. So those are the things. So we're just going to talk about the accountability side and what does that really mean, and what are the benefits of it, and what is it if you don't understand what it all means, okay? And So that's the observations, that's what's important. The important thing about accountability is, especially after a weekend like this, it takes the theory into a habit. You can start to develop a habit from the stuff that you know. Many of you know what you've got to do, but without the accountability, you don't actually turn it into a habit. That's really important. We all do better when someone is watching us. Okay, it's just another principle about accountability. And, you know, if you've ever used a personal trainer, had a personal trainer, whatever, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, for goodness sakes, when you think about it, what other benefit do you get? You can pretty much know what the guy's going to do unto you today when you get a personal trainer. But when somebody else is watching, you do better, okay? You try harder, always. When you need it the most is when you want it the least. And that's why if you don't set up a bit of an accountability habit, a bit of an accountability system, it becomes really, really difficult when you really need some accountability, need some help with your team, with your life, with whatever, you're in a bad way. And here's a really important one, especially in this business. The more successful you get, the perceived need for counselling is less, or accountability is less, but the real need is more. The bigger your team, the more you need accountability. There's a lot at stake, not only for your wealth and your future and your everything that you can gain from the business, but the fact that you've got a lot of people involved. So the bigger you get, and that's kind of like that. You know, everybody goes through a teenage phase. Everybody's got little kids. You know, you got little kids. They love you, right? And those of you that got little kids right now, they love you. That's going to stop. All right? They turn into teenagers, and that stops. And likewise, and in fact, you know, it's always fascinated me when you see you can see like really ugly people have children, and then these children love their parents, you know, like, and you think, wow, it's amazing. And that's like when you join the business, you love your upline. Everybody joins the business and thinks